The last thing I'll leave with is an exit strategy. What is it? Everyone wants one. You're not doing, some of you aren't doing this for, I'm going to do this for 20 years. You're doing this because you know at the end you're like, the big guy's going to come. And eventually, when I think the banking world opens, and I think some other things, I think that's going to happen, unfortunately. It's going to become the big conglomerate game. The big players are going to get involved. And unfortunately, a little bit similar to the banking world, a lot of smaller players will be swallowed up or maybe be pushed out to some extent. So those who are in it, keep doing it, keep pushing hard. Exiting. Well, if everything goes wonderfully, then keep going. If you decide to sell, sell. All right? If you decide to go public, which I think eventually that's going to start happening a lot more and more, go public. Whole other angle of the law in doing that. No different than selling out of the business. Obviously, selling, there's some other parameters that come up because of the cannabis space and licensing and transferring and what have you. If it goes the wrong way and you need to get out, because one, you just don't like your partners anymore. I want out, I want to dissolve, I want to separate. There's a whole exit strategy in that angle. That can be problematic, can be expensive, can be very nice and simple. Hey, all right, we're done, let's separate assets, move on, or sell assets, or buy each other out, whatever. That goes back to my very first comment about structuring and setting up documentation. If you have partners, make sure you got a good either operating agreement, buy-sell agreement, whatever it is, in the event of failure. It's the business prenuptial agreement, I call it. Just like there's a marital prenuptial, it's the business prenuptial. Alan said earlier, before you start, you know your product, know your mark, get that set up. Don't lose it as you're 2 years in the process and get denied. Same thing with this, set up your business with if you have partners. If you're by yourself, don't worry about it for the most part. If you have partners, that's got to be locked in is what happens. You got to file bankruptcy. Some recent decisions came down recently that they're allowing it in some instances, and some of the trustees are, and some of them are not. So there's no consistency in the law. Again, it's all new, federal issue. The alternative to that would be to do it privately, a private bankruptcy to an extent, which they call an assignment for the benefit of creditors, where basically you hire an outside agency, a firm that would become the trustee that would actually sell your assets, not done through the corporate system. All done privately. Some people do that for a couple reasons. One particular reason they do that is because if you are sitting on the board of a public entity and you file bankruptcy, you're essentially blackballed from being on another public board, possibly. So they do it privately. And I've been through a few of these back in their days when the internet businesses were kind of fumbling. A lot of the VC companies had a lot of individuals that sat on boards around the country. And they said, we're not filing bankruptcy, and we would just basically hire an outside receiver that would come in and sell the assets. All fine. It was always, it's all legitimate, it's all legal. And it's essentially the equivalent of the bankruptcy, but private bankruptcy. It's expensive too.
Can I just add something to your exit strategy on the IP side is, if you are going to be selling one day, then the fact that you have patents and certainly that your trademarks are registered is going to make the sale price significantly higher, or it should. Then, if you are going public, you want investors to pay you as much as possible for your founder's shares. Those shares are worth more if your trademarks are registered. If you're looking to do a round of financing with a bank when ultimately that becomes doable, as it almost certainly will, patents and registered trademarks are recognised assets by banks, and they will lend you money or additional money against them. So that's why we say register now and register early.
Questions? Right ahead.
Brian.
This one, do any of your cannabis companies that your firm has have had any federal problems? If so, what are they? Or if not, have you guys heard of any problems with
I've heard of some. I've heard of some of the forfeiture letters go out, where, but the people we ended up finding out wasn't really directed at them, but someone affiliated with them. So it goes back to the transparency issue. They didn't realize it. It was after we had come on board. We didn't start from scratch. You know, obviously, there's certain situations where we come from scratch and start you out and walking through it, or we come in later because they said, oh, we did it ourselves. Not to disrespect any of the DIY, do-it-yourself online deals. Don't do them. Just, if you need advice and it costs a little bit of money, spend a little bit of money to get advice. Anyone who knows what they're doing. DIY, if you're doing DIY, it's not for this business. If it's something else, it's fine. But it's something like this, don't do with DIY.
Yeah, not form leases,
Not form
especially. No, that's a big no. Don't go and pull a lease form off the internet or use the real estate association form, commercial lease. That's just, a funeral waiting to happen, and it's your funeral. It doesn't matter which side you're on, landlord or tenant. Don't go with form leases.
So to answer your question, yes, I've heard a few of them. I've heard of, most of them end up being, not from our clients per se, but most of them end up being for illegal activities.
And there is the federal immigration issue we already
Yeah,
talked.
there's been some of that. And it's usually, honestly, it's usually someone who's a whistleblower. I don't mean in the literal legal sense, in the sense of, there's a definition specifically for that, but it's really someone in the industry, in the business, either was disgruntled, left, and said, you know what, go check out Chris Gonzalez now, and they got this real great illegal business going, and then then we're done. No other questions? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Kathleen Foster from Port Hueneme News, and I'm talking to Lillian, who is here from Wheelhouse Cannabis Dispensary, and I wanted to know what you thought about this presentation. Did you learn something? Was it informative? Is it something that you learned something from?
Yes, absolutely. So there were a few different points that I did not know at all. For example, the immigration policies about people that are working or are in like a pending status in immigration and working for the cannabis industry, how they can jeopardize their paperwork. So that was something really new for me, and I think super important for all of the employers to be aware of and to be able to educate whoever it is that they are hiring, so they cannot jeopardize their status in the country. So that was very informative for me.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was really surprised at that. And like you said, we need to educate the employers to let them know about this because that'd be pretty scary and somebody ruining their whole
Yeah.
being American.
Yeah, especially in California that you have such a huge community of immigrants, so it is very important for the employers in this industry, especially to be able to educate the people that they're hiring and what they could jeopardize if they do, get hired in the industry. So that was a good point for me. And then all the other points about like trademarks and patents, there are so many. I see it in the dispensary, a lot of names that are used in mainstream products, such as like um, Gorilla Glue. It's like the name of a strain, right? Girl Scout cookies, all of these different items. And I've been called by different like listings. For example, Weed Maps has called me and has asked me to remove those names from my directory online and to pretty much abbreviate and use acronyms instead of the entire word because of trademark and possible, problems that could cause and jeopardize our license as well.
Well, thank you so much, and give yourself your cannabis dispensary.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So everybody, make sure to check us out. We are located in Port Hueneme, 521 West Channel Island Boulevard. And yeah, make sure to check us out. We are we're an amazing dispensary, super spacious. The lobby is great. We're offering now workshops, how-to classes, and of course, like premium quality products as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks so